If your subject in the sentence is the phrase, the number of, use a singular verb. But if your subject is the phrase, a number of, use a plural verb. Welcome to a new episode and a new lesson from your channel, Pure English. Let's begin with this little comparison. The number of books in the library has risen to over 5 million. So, the subject in this sentence is the phrase, the number of books in the library. Because you have this subject, the number of, you must use a singular verb in the sentence. So you say, the number of books in the library has risen rather than have risen. But look at the other sentence that we are going to juxtapose with. A number of refugees have been turned back at the border. A number of refugees. So the subject in this sentence is the phrase, a number of refugees. Because that's the subject, you use a plural verb and you say, a number of refugees have been turned back rather than has been turned back. So the point I'm trying to make here is for you, English learners, not to confuse these two phrases when they come as subjects in sentences. When you have the phrase, the number of, use a singular verb. That's the verb form used with he, she, or it. But if your subject is the phrase, a number of, in this case, use a plural form of the verb. That's the form used with we, you, and they. The second point in today's lesson is a very important point. It's a really crucial point that confuses many English learners. If your subject consists of two or more items, and these items are joined by the expressions either A or B, or neither A nor B. So if you have either or if you have neither nor, you need to look at the last item. That's the last item in the expression. If it's singular, use a singular verb. If it's plural, use a plural verb. So this means that your verb agrees with the last item in the expression. Let's take a couple of examples. Neither the president nor his representatives plan to attend the meeting. Here you have the last item in the expression is representatives. Neither the president nor his representatives. So we look at the last item, which is representatives, and we use a plural verb because it's a plural noun, and we say plan to attend the meeting, not plans. Another example. Either the station or the cinema is a good place to meet. So the last noun here in the phrase or in the expression is the cinema. Either the station or the cinema. Because it's a singular noun, the cinema, we use a singular verb with it. So we say either the station or the cinema is a good place to meet rather than are a good place to meet. The third point is about using verb to be and verb to have with their. There, that's spelled T-H-E-R-E. So if you have at the beginning of the sentence, if you have there, followed by verb to be or verb to have, You can use a plural or a singular verb depending on the noun you're referring to. For example, you say, there have been lots of good films on lately. So we are talking here about the films, which is a plural noun. So we need to use a plural verb. So we say, there have been lots of films or lots of good films on lately. But in informal contexts or in colloquial situations, everyday English, relaxed English, casual English, you can use a singular verb although the noun we're referring to is plural. So you can say, there has been lots of good films on lately. So you can say, there has been or there have been lots of good films on lately. So the point I'm trying to make here is that when you use verb to be or verb to have after the word there, when you begin your sentence with there and you follow it with verb to be or verb to have, you need to have a look at the noun you're referring to. If it's plural, use a plural form of the verb. If it's singular, use a singular form of the verb. However, in informal or colloquial contexts, you can use a singular form of the verb all the time. Either the noun you're referring to is singular or plural. You can also use the same rule with how, where, or here. So if you use verb to be or verb to have with how, where, or here, you can also do the same. So you can say, how are your mom and dad? Or how is your mom and dad? Here we have verb to be, is or are, following how. So you can use a plural form of the verb because we're talking about your mom and dad. So you can say, how are your mom and dad these days? Or you can say, how is your mom and dad these days if you are speaking in an informal or a colloquial state of affairs. This lesson is a continuation or an extension of the last lesson we had on the channel, and both lessons tackle the topic of subject-verb agreement. We are to continue this series in the next video, which is going to be the last video in this series about subject-verb agreement, which is a crucial topic for English learners. And I hope today's lesson was useful for you. Please subscribe to the channel if the content appeals to you. Like the video, interact with it, and share it with your friends and family members. If you have any remarks or suggestions, please leave them down in the comment box. I'll be more than happy to respond to them. And at the end, thank you very much for your attentive listening, mates, and see you in our next lesson. Enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye for now.